section 5.6, squares of binomials. We are dealing with two special cases where we have difference of squares and then we have binomial squares. So one is conjugates, one is a binomial square where we have a binomial being squared. So two terms being squared. We cannot, very important, cannot distribute the exponent. That's where most students make their mistake. That's the bad thing. You cannot. X plus 3 quantity squared does not equal x squared plus 9. No. It is going to be x squared plus 6x plus 9. Yes. So that is a trick that we can use. It has this pattern. Yeah. Oh, nope. That's the minus. Sorry. This is. I'm just going to deal with this pattern. I'm always going to deal with just this, whether b is positive or negative. If it's positive, this is going to be positive. If it's negative, as you see here, if it's negative, you notice that this is negative. These are always going to be positive because you're multiplying the same thing. Our last is that squared. So you can look at it through foiling, how the patterns come, and maybe we'll do the first one showing foiling. So remember, this is this. It's just two of these because the exponent is 2 and the base of the exponent is this binomial. So we have two of them. And then if we FOIL, hopefully you see the fast, right? You get x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. Our outside and inside are going to be identical because we're multiplying the same numbers. The last is multiplying by the first is multiplying by the last, and they're going to be the same because you're multiplying the same first and last. So we have two of these every single time. So this is a square, this is a square, and this is 2 times this times this. That's the trick that you're going to see. That if you multiply your first times your last and double it, you get this answer. So we're going to square this, that's y squared. We're going to square our last, which is positive 4, and then we're going to multiply these two, which is negative 2y, and we're going to double it. So negative 4y. That's the fastest way to do these. So as we did with difference of squares, there's a speed, there's an algorithm, there's a sort of just going through the motions. We're going to square, we're going to square, we're going to multiply negative 4a and double it. So negative 8a. N squared plus 25, multiply 5n and double it. So 10n every single time. 9u squared plus 1, that's negative 3u, so double negative 3u is negative 6u. 25c squared plus 1, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. That gives you negative 5c, so double it is negative 10c. Yeah, look how fast. And we recognize, oh, this is a binomial square. Square the first, 9y squared. Square the last, 16. Multiply the first times the last, 12y, and double it, because we're going to have two of them. That's going to be my outside, and my inside will both be 12y, so 24y. 16k squared plus 25, multiply makes 20k, double it is 40k. And it's important for you to understand that my outside and inside of this is this product, negative 10k, and that my outside is negative 10k and my inside is negative 10k, hence why I get negative 20k. So important, a squared b squared plus 9 and let's multiply and double. Negative 6ab. This will save you so much time on your placement tests, on your SAT, on your HSPT, on your whatever assessment, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, placement tests. So 15 doubled is 30 PQ. 16x squared plus 9y squared, that's going to give me negative 12xy. Double it is negative 24xy. So remember when I wrote the outside and inside, when that coefficient of my first was not 1, and I squared the first, squared the last, or multiplied the first, multiplied the last, and then I wrote the outside and inside. Same thing, just write the product of these two. Just write that up here, and then double it. That's a nice, easy, fast way of doing it. 9y squared I don't have to write down, plus 25 I don't have to write down. I'm squaring this, I'm squaring that, and now I'm going to multiply these two together. And I'll write that down, negative 15y. And now I'll double it, which makes negative 30y. So I'll write some stuff down. I won't keep it all mental. That's plus 49b squared. That's going to give me negative 35ab, which is negative 70ab. So accuracy is important. 4x squared plus y squared, and that's going to be plus 4xy. X to the fourth plus 25, that's 5x squared, doubled is 10x squared. So there are things that I'm going to do to ensure that I get the right answer. I will write certain things down. That's a horrible E. That wasn't very much of a better E. That's the best E. P squared Q squared is PQ squared plus 9. Negative 3PQ gives me negative 6PQ. 4A squared B squared plus C squared, and that's negative 2ABC, which is negative 4ABC. That's a fun one. I like that. That's going to be positive 9A squared B squared. That's going to be B to the fourth. And now I have negative 3AB to the third, which is negative 6AB to the third. That's an interesting one. That's a good one. Right? Did I do that right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they'll double up. Yep. Okay. So notice nothing changed. 16, 9f squared, that's negative 12f, negative 24f. And I'm just going to rewrite it as 9f squared minus 24f plus 16. Were you aware that it wasn't in standard form? Attention to detail. So this is 121u squared. That's going to be v to the fourth. That's negative 11uv squared, negative 22uv squared. This is in standard form. U squared, u, v to the fourth. Alphabetical order, u's are always going to come before v's, and u squared is going to come before u to the first. So just because it's v to the fourth doesn't put it into the first. Alphabetical first, then, so 25p to the sixth plus 36, that's negative 30, negative 30p cubed, which is negative 60p cubed. 81t to the fourth plus 4, that's going to be positive 18t squared, which is positive 36t squared. That's another good one. All right, now, how do we recognize? What are the characteristics? And we're factoring here. So when we factor, is it a binomial? Let's write it over here. I think I did it over here. Binomial square. Is it a special case? Is it a binomial square? There are 4 things that go into place. First of all, is it 3 terms? Yes. Is the second sign positive? Meaning, is my third term positive? Maybe I should, it's my third term. Yeah, I don't know, second sign. Some students struggle. Is my third term positive? Is the first and third, are the first and third perfect squares? And here's the hard one. And I've changed my technique on how I'm going to do this. The 4th thing, does my middle term equal 2 times the square root of the first times the square root of the last? Does my middle term, which is negative 4n, equal 2 times the square root of the first oh, that's interesting. Now, why wouldn't I do the negative? Maybe it's not, and it does 4n. Yeah, that's interesting. So square root of first is the square root of n squared. Square root of last is square root of 4. Does 4n equal 2 times n times 2? Does 4n equal 4n? Yeah, it does. So we're going to do that. So, and how do we get it? So it's going to be quantity squared. We're going to take the square root of my first. We're going to take my square root of my last. We're going to bring down this sign. And now, does the first times the last doubled equal that? And yes, it does. So that's how we're going to do it. 3 terms, yes. Third term positive, yes. Perfect square, yes. Perfect square, yes. So let's take the square root of the first, square root of 5. Let's bring that sign down. Does this times this doubled equal my middle term? Yes, it does. So that's a binomial square. I think I'm going to teach it in that manner. 3 terms, yes. Third term positive, yes. Perfect square, yes. Perfect square, yes. So let's take the square root. Square root. Let's bring down that sign. Does this times this doubled equal my middle term? Yes, it does. So 3 terms, yes. Third term positive, yes. Perfect square, yes. Perfect square, yes. Okay, so let's do y. Square root of 16 is 4. Let's bring down that sign. And does negative 4 times y equal doubled equal negative 8y? Yes. So that's my answer. So a 4 negative quantity squared 8 times negative 4. Oh, look at that. No. This is negative 4a doubled does not negative 8a. So this is not a binomial square. No, it is not. Nice. I like that they gave us not a perfect square. It's not a binomial square. So not a, I like that. Good job, book. Okay. 3 terms, yes. I'm going to, again, here we are, not in standard form. I'm going to write it in standard form. I'm a stickler. 3 terms, yes. Third term, positive, yes. Perfect square first, perfect square third, yes. I'm going to take the square root. I'm going to take the square root. I'm going to bring down that sign. Does y times 9 doubled equal 18? Yes. So it is a binomial square. 3 terms, yes. Third term, positive. Perfect square, 3x plus 2 squared, 6x doubled. It's negative. I got to bring down that sign. Sorry, negative 6 doubled is negative 12x. So 3 terms, third term positive, perfect square, perfect square. I'm going to take the square root of the first. I'm going to take the square root of the last. Quantity square, I'm going to bring down this negative. I'm going to multiply those two and double them. Makes negative 20k. Doubled equals negative 40k. Yes. 3 terms, yes. Third term positive, yes. Perfect square, yes. 3y That's 8. Bring down the positive quantity squared. That's 24. Doubled is 48y. Yes. I'm going to rewrite this in standard form. 3 terms, yes. Third term, positive. Perfect square. I'm going to take the square root. I'm going to bring down that positive sign. 6 doubled. Ooh, no. Not a binomial square. That needs to be that needed to be 12y to be a binomial square. So it's not to say that we can't factor, it's just not a special case. 3 terms, yes. Perfect square. Third term, positive, yes. 5x plus 8y is 40. Doubled is 80. Quantity squared. Perfect square, yes. 2c minus 3 quantity squared. 6c doubled is negative 12c. Good. All 3 of those criteria work. 3n minus 4 quantity squared, negative 12n doubled is 24. I'm going to rewrite it in standard form. 3 terms, yes. Third term, positive, yes. First and third perfect square, yes. Square root of 4k squared is 2k. Bring down the negative. Square root of 81 is 9. Quantity squared, negative 18 doubled is 36. 3 terms, positive, yes. Perfect squares, that's 9k plus 10. Quantity squared is 90, doubled is 180. 7a minus 3b, quantity squared, that gives me negative 21ab. Doubled is negative 42ab. 2m minus 9n, quantity squared, negative 18mn. Doubled is negative 36. 4x minus 3y, quantity squared, negative 12. Doubled is negative 24. Decide what, oh, all right, there we go. We can delete this page. There was an extra one. Delete the page. All right, so that's what's expected. Again, that level of recognition, that level of fluency. Good luck.